We're here back at the Chit Chat, and at this time I'd like to introduce the leader of the band, Mr. Leonard King. Leonard, who all do you have in your band?
We have Jimmy Nash on cornet, my brother Gregory King on alto sax, my other brother Larry King on cornet, we have George Roundtree on organ, Frank Garcia on bass, and myself on drum.
All right. Well, you know, as Red Fox used to say, I shall begin by starting. You know, so that's what we're gonna do. You know, King Brothers coming to you.
The world famous King Brothers. You gotta put it like that. The world famous King Brothers.
Yeah. I'm Leonard King Jr. Leonard Clyde King Jr. That's on my birth certificate. Also known as Dr. Professor Leonard King.
And I'm Gregory King Sr.
That's right.
And I have no other nickname that would go with that, like his.
He used to have a name for those back in the day.
Well, I mean, I had names, but you know.
Frog is his most famous nickname.
Yeah, that's the name growing up in like we say, the hood.
Yeah.
That was my growing up name.
Yeah, so if you run into people who knew him back then, they won't call him Greg. They may or not, but if they call him Frog.
If they call me Frog or Buckeyes. Now, Buckeyes was the one. If you call me Buckeyes, you was like the inner circle. You know, neighborhood people that said Buckeyes were close friends. Or should I say the innovations? Singers was in at the time. Right. Yeah, Glenn Lowe and Don Barry and Steve Moore.
I forgot about that.
Even Joyce Berry would say Buckeyes.
I forgot all about that.
Yeah, no, those were the Buckeyes.
Well, see, when Greg was about my size back then, right? You know, his eyes protrude more than what they do now.
No, not really.
Not really.
Not really like that.
Okay.
They said when I think the person that gave me that name was Anthony Campbell. It was or Larry, what's his name?
Yeah.
But they said that when I got scared, my eyes got big. That's all it was. I get scared. No, my eyes. I didn't have no protrusion. I wasn't Peter Lorre.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Right. Well, that's true.
Really?
That's true.
No, I had no protrusion.
That's true.
I just like
Well, you know what? You know, for those of you who are viewing this, you know, now that we have identified ourselves so magnificently and succinctly, we're musicians. You know, which started out as what, the Kings of Rhythm, and then the Jazz Sextet, and then Leonard King and the Soul Messengers. That's our initial claim to fame. I'll put it like that.
The Jazz Sextet also became the Jazz Septet.
You know what? It will fluctuate, remember? Yeah. Depending on how many people were in the band.
6, 7.
So yeah, somebody quit to become a sextet again, that kind of thing, you know? Yeah. But we grew up in downriver, southwest Detroit. I found out many years later that area is called Visger Heights. In the area where Detroit borders River Rouge and Ecorse, Michigan. And as kids, we made a name for ourselves. We were the first young people to actually form a musical ensemble and actually do something with it. I tell people all the time, we had status in the city of Detroit as teenagers. Our fans did everything but carry us around in the streets on their shoulders. We had that kind of status. You know, and I think my brother would agree. We did.
We did.
We did.
We were. I did an interview with a magazine about a couple of months ago. And in an interview, she asked me, you know, about the same thing about growing up and being in music and business and how we started out. And I was like, I said we were really neighborhood legends. You know, because everybody knew the King Brothers. Me, Greg, Leonard, and my brother Atiba, who was a trumpet player. And, you know, my influence came from Leonard, because he was the first one that showed any a musical interest, you know, as far as wanting to play an instrument. You know, I wasn't thinking like that at that time, but he was, because it was like it was just meant to be, and I know it was, for him to be influenced by what we were hearing. at home.
Definitely. Definitely.
You know, like you said, father was in the jukebox business, but we had music and records all the time. We were getting records before they came out on the radio.
Detroit was the place that broke in those days, especially in the 50s and 60s. Detroit was the place that broke recordings. You know, Philadelphia was another city a little bit later on, but Detroit was the place that broke. So in this town, music. And you know what attracted me? You know, not any particular style or so-called genre, because I was too young to know anything about that. What I heard was sounds, and I use that plural. Sounds all over this city. It was inescapable. And those sounds made me feel good. And I'm talking about 2 or 3 years of age. I got my first record player at age 3. I still have it. I asked our mother, how was it, this is years later, how was it that you gave me a record player at such a young age? She said, your father, or we, taught you how to hold the records, especially 78s, a 3-year-old. So, in our household, there was only 2 places that you didn't find records.
You said 78s, and everybody listening,
what?
Everybody said 78, what is that?
Oh, 78 RPM. 78.
A big old record.
Yeah, 10-inch. 10-inch. You know,
big
vinyl.
Big, that wasn't big. That was at 33 and a
33 to 30, that was it. But you know, this is a hip public that's checking us out.
Yeah. I'm just, you know, we're talking history, right? It's a little history.
Yeah, this is a hip public that's checking us out. But anyway, so I honestly, you know, to tell you the truth, Drew, I honestly believe that in my previous life, I was in music. I mean, this ain't my first go round, you know. But anyway, so that was the genesis for what became known as Leonard King and the Soul Messengers. There was so much money in the city of Detroit for music. I mean, lots of money, man. There's no way we could lose.
When they say get a drummer some, I want y'all to listen to this wonderful drummer. Come on, fellas, and do it for me, all right?